Hi everyone, welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, episode 30, where we just came out of a very interesting bath event in episode 29. So Hikari, Saya, and Akito were in the same bath water, the hot springs water, and for the entire time, Hikari was teasing Akito using her body. It's like, so I've grown into a beautiful, hot lady, and I'm sure Akito admires me. And even though he's trying to deny it, his body's telling us a different story. And she kept using her boobs as a way to entice Akito. And even though Saya is not very comfortable sharing the same bathwater with Akito, I feel like she pushed herself to follow Hikari because she does not want to lose to Hikari. And it ended up being a trade-off deal. So Hikari and Saya showed their boobs to Akito in exchange for him showing his thing. And it didn't go quite well. And it was so much that I had to cut out parts. But anyways, we can see that Hikari is trying to relive the old times of them three being together. And we could tell, since we're in this carriage that they use as their secret base in the past. And surprisingly, it is still there, all intact. So let's see how it's going to go from here. And I do like how Hikari and Saya are both concerned about Akito's well-being. The fact that he's living as a mountaineer, living a primitive lifestyle. He's using the school as his residence, which is kind of not good. So anyways. Okay, so he's finally calmed down. So I guess I dozed off. So after getting thoroughly warmed up in the bath, we came back, got the blanket out, and at some point I must have fallen asleep. Oh, so he fell into a coma, and it looks like Hikari and Sai had to drag him back to the carriage. Wait, what about? Okay, so Sai's asleep. So Saya's head rested against my shoulder, her breathing even. We were still on top of one of the seats, blankets wrapped all around us. I was sure that she looked just like an angel. Too bad it was too dark to see. Well, you should be more careful, you know, I murmured while gently stroking Saya's head. Well, you do know that I'm a guy, right? Well, after the incident at the bath, I didn't think there was any question about that in her mind. Well, better not think about that. Well, at least it had taught us that there were things we used to do as kids that we definitely can't get away with now. Well, meanwhile, next is Saya. Oh, so Hikari? Wait, she's gone. So where did she run off to? Okay, so Hikari's outside. Wait, Hikari? So I wonder why she can't go to sleep. So Hikari was sitting on the roof, a blanket drawn or draped over her shoulders. I climbed up to meet her, using the window frame as a foothold. So what are you doing up here? Okay, so I wonder if she saw that there were going to be shooting stars tonight. Well, kidding around as usual, I sat down next to her.
Hi.
Okay. So Hikari lifted one side of her blanket, inviting me to climb under it. I fidgeted in place, but she just came closer and wrapped herself around me. Hey, we're too close. Well, it's cold, so let's be close together to stay warm. No, you're just as bad as the other one. Could both of them really be this naive? No, I think, well, don't worry about it. I shrugged and gazed up at the night sky. Well, must have been around midnight. Several winter constellations were up to take place of the autumn ones. Well, we did. So one of us might point one out, and the other two would desperately try to catch sight of it before it disappeared. And they weren't all that common outside of the meteor showers though, so usually we just be staring up at the night sky. Well, I guess that had been fun in its own way too. Well, just the idea that something special might happen, the expectation had made it exciting. And these days I had no time for shooting stars. Well, I don't really know why, but maybe it's because he has no motivation for shooting stars anymore. I just sat there under the blanket, feeling the comforting warmth of Hikari's body. So what is it? No. Don't worry about the bath anymore, okay? That was quite bad, and I know you had to go through a lot. Hey, don't remind me. I'm trying to forget everything that happened, or like even happened in the first place. Well, too bad. You did miss out on the good stuff. Really. Well, maybe not for you, but I prefer if we moved away from that subject. Oh, so the notebook. So we haven't really seen why that notebook is important among all three of them. So Hikari choked on her words a little. Yeah, she even taped it together, so all the ripped pages. So I do remember one little scene, and I think... So that scene was about the argument, and we didn't really see why, but it probably has something to do with the notebook. Yeah, that's true. So, Miyaru-sensei did say Saya had been in tears when she handed the notebook. And even if she hadn't said why she was crying, it was obvious to us. So the day our planetary observation journal had been ruined. So I wonder why it got ruined. Hikari and I had gotten into a big fight, and our friendship had been torn apart just like the book. Okay, so now wonder, so even with that big setback, I wonder why he came back to the astronomy club. I thought you were bored of stars. And for once, Hikari had nothing to say. Could this be any more awkward? Well, we were buddied up together like old friends, but it wasn't easy talking about how we've fallen apart.
ごめんね。
So why was she apologizing for now?
OL のこと。
Okay, so this is where Hikari admits that, yeah, I was that Komako lady. Oh yeah. So yeah, Komako. So this was something I really wanted to ask her about. So this is another of the mysteries that Akio had to deal with. So why do you pretend to be some office worker?
私、また引っ越すんだ。
What? So it felt like the wind had been knocked out of me. So what do you mean by move?
言葉のままだよ。
So those few words didn't exactly do a good job of answering my questions. Hikari seemed to realize that and continued.
今の学校にはそんなに思い入れとかないんだけど、その代わり急に昔が懐かしくなっちゃって。
Okay. So Hikari just changed the subject. It's like, well, I don't like my school that much, and
適当に撮った星座の写真をネットにアップしたら、声かけてくれた人がいたの。
Okay, so that was when Hikari made that dumpling image, if you remember. And I think it's like, well, I was bored at school, I didn't like it, so I was just trying to find something to do, and then I ended up posting pictures of it online. And surprisingly, somebody replied to it.
名前見てびっくり。アキトってまんまじゃん。
And she could easily tell that it was the Akito. Hikari gave me an amused smirk. I guess most people don't use their real names on the internet. And in most cases it's good because there's been too many cases of identity theft. The fact that somebody is able to use that name and find out where you live or how to access all your personal information and steal everything from you.
でもまだわかんないじゃない？偶然ってこともあるわけだし。
But then it's like, well, it might be someone else with the username Akito, but coincidentally, it's actually you. Yeah, I guess not.
それで OL ってことにして声かけてみたら、やっぱりどう考えてもアキトだったってわけ。
Okay, it's like, well, I wasn't really sure if that person was you, so I tried to pretend to be someone else. And the more we talked, I could sense that this was the Akito that I remember from the past. So she had asked personal questions like how old I was and where I was from, and I guess that was her way of working it out. But I'm sure if you ask questions like that online, A, they will not answer it, or B, they'll give false answers that don't trace to anything. Well, you could have just told me it was you.
いやー、そのままのが面白いと思って。
But then again, I kind of liked playing as the office worker because I could see all sorts of reactions from you, and it was quite funny. Wait, why you? So you were teasing me again?
OL のお姉さんに甘えてくるアキトがちょっと可愛かったってのもあるんだけどね。
And I did like how you were reacting when you were talking to someone that was acting older than you. Hey, just erase your messages log right now. Just get rid of everything.
やだです。
Well, I think it's good memories, so I can't do that. Wait, why not?
大切な思い出なんだもん。
So why the hell could you... Or what... Okay, so why the hell would you want those? It's just fun of... Or it's just full of me complaining.
ねえねえ、アキトってまだ童貞？
But anyways, I'm just wondering about those comments. Like, Hikari poked me to my side as she spoke. So under the blanket, my hands balled into fists as I tried to keep calm.
大丈夫だって。誰にも見せたりしないから。
So I'm sure Hikari took the teasing too far and starting to get Akito a little bit enraged.
私が時々こっそり見てニヤニヤするだけでさ。あれとか最高だったな。アキトがクラスの女子に告白されてどうしようってあたふたしてたやつ。
So I wonder who that girl was.
結局断っちゃったんでしょ。
Well, that's something that you don't need to know.
まあ、サヤみたいな美少女が近くにいるんだもん。波の女の子相手じゃそうそうなびかないか。
Well, maybe because you already have Saya and you admire her, so you don't really need... Or like, Saya's enough for you. So, where are you moving this time?
海外。
Overseas?
お父さんの仕事の都合でね。東南アジアの方なんだけど、びっくりでしょ。
Wow, so that's pretty far. So my surprise showed in my voice. That was a lot further than I had been expecting. That was the first time I really got in to talk to Hikari after all these years. And now she was going to go away again. I didn't know how to feel. I could barely wrap my head around the situation. So another country, huh? To a poor student like me, it might as well be the moon.
アキトからしたら、今さら私だって名乗られても困るだけだろうし、OL のコマコさんのままでいいやと思ってたら、あの話が。
So this was probably the time when he was still talking to Komako and he thought Komako was the office lady. So Six Stars Club? Hikari nodded, holding back whatever she'd been about to say.
また無性に、アキトたちと星が見たいって思ったの。
So in other words, she uploaded that photo because she was feeling lonely and worried about moving, and it was just so happened that she ran to me. Okay, so it's like, well, I really missed the old days of us looking at stars, and I was just putting it online out of boredom, and surprisingly, Akito was the one who commented on it. And when she heard about the Six Stars Club, she decided to join the astronomy club.
アキトは星を見るのやめちゃったって言ってたよね。
And despite all those embarrassing conversations, there was one important element or one important message that Hikari picked up from that. I told Komako as much. But I don't remember telling her why.
それって、やっぱり私のせい？
So my fault?
私がアキトを裏切るようなことしたから、星が嫌いになっちゃった。
And then remember what Mihari had said. Well, none of you watch the stars anymore, so. Well, that's not it. That wasn't it. Well, that's not what happened. But you know, this isn't Miharu Sensei's fault or something. Well, I'm just anxious.
不安？
Well, it's like you said, Miharu Sensei. I do still love the stars. When I look up at the night sky, my heart races. But right after that, I begin to feel anxious. I can never reach the stars. All I can ever do is admire those beautiful stars from afar. I'll never be able to get any closer to them. And when I think just like that, it feels like they've flown off and left me all alone in the dark, empty sky. And that was why I didn't watch the stars anymore. Well, maybe it could have been better to say that I couldn't watch them anymore.
あの頃は不安じゃなかったの？
So I bit my lip because I didn't want to answer. But now that I knew Miss Miharu Sensei was worried about me, it wasn't right to keep quiet. So Hikari was there. She made me believe.
この列車は空を行く銀河鉄道天文台。太陽系を征服しても我ら3人の旅はまだまだ終わらない。さあ、銀河の謎を解き明かすべく次なる目的地へ向かおう。
Well, I felt we can go anywhere. We could solve the mysteries of the outer space. We could reach out our hands and catch the stars. And that's what I thought. The three of us. As long as Hikari is here.
Akito.
I wonder if Hikari remembers those words. Or she forgot. Hikari stared at me, her eyes wide in amazement.
私そんな嫌だ。
And now she's embarrassed. Hey, don't let it go over your head. Or go to your head. Well, I'm the one that decided not to look at the stars. It's not your fault.
何それ。今の話、どう考えても私のせいじゃん。私がいなくなっちゃったから、一人で星を見るのが怖くなったって話でしょ。
So it's because So I moved away, and that changed your opinion or your feeling of looking at stars, right? Well, I only felt that way because I was too weak, so it's my own fault.
違うよ、私だよ。
No, it's my fault, not yours.
私。
It's my. Okay, so while Akito and Hikari were arguing whose fault it is for causing both of them to stop looking at stars, it looks like Saya woke up. So he jumped as a low voice suddenly rang out from somewhere under our feet.
人が寝てる間にこそこそ話しないでくれるかな。
So I wonder what Saya wants. A, does she want Hikari and Akito to be quiet while she's sleeping? Or does she want to be involved in the conversation and not be left out?
そうよ。
So he looked down and saw Saya's face appear from inside the train. And the rest of her soon followed as she climbed out the window and up to the roof. Okay, so it's B. I don't want to be left out of the conversation. Hey, be careful. Okay, so hopefully they help her up. Sure enough, she slipped. Hikari grabbed her outstretched hand before she could fall, though. Okay, so at least she's okay. Okay, we finished pulling Saya up onto the roof. She didn't look too pleased. Whoa, careful. So Saya pried Hikari and me apart and sat down between the two of us. Okay, so obviously the answer is B. Is like, well, I don't like it when you two are having a conversation without me and you're leaving me out. Or taking advantage while I'm sleeping. And because of that, I got cold. So she pouted in an attempt to seem aloof. But still, Hikari does admire Sai for being cute. Oh, don't worry. We can help you warm up. Hikari wrapped her arms around the ever-patient Saya. Well, no matter what happens, you're still cute. So Saya pouted as Hikari continued to shower her with attention. Well, it's not like it was so on purpose. You were fast asleep and I didn't want to wake you up. Well, still, you left me alone, so. Well, it's rare to see Saya show this much emotion. The way she sulks hasn't changed since she was little. And just then... And looks like Saya was the first to find the shooting star. The thing that Hikari was looking for earlier. But it's too late for either Hikari or Akito to find it. Wait, me too! So we continued to gaze at the night sky. Hikari and I watched warming Saya from either side. And there we were, all sharing one blanket, waiting to see shooting stars that might never appear. Our bodies had grown, we gained a few years, and plenty of things had changed, but it wasn't that different from when we were just kids. Okay, so looks like it's the next day, and let's see how it goes today. So a pleasant popping sound came from inside the pot. Okay, so once again, Akito's making something for Hikari and Saya. And with it, a delicious aroma wafted into the air. Ah, you're awake. Good morning. So still in her sleeping bag, Hikari rubbed her eyes. So from her place on the seat, Saya opened her eyes and she started to wake up. Oh, morning, Saya. Okay, well, Saya's still asleep. Hey, you got a little drool there. Wouldn't want to ruin the pretty face. I wipe Saya's mouth with a towel. But still, Saya is asleep. Okay, so breakfast is almost ready. I said as I rattled the little pot. So waking up was hard when you've been forced to sleep in a weird position. Well, I'm sure the seats put them in a weird position when they sleep. So the girls squinted against the warm sunlight shining through the grimy windows and began to, rouse themselves. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I think Hikari is being bothered by Akito trying to get them to wake up. So I cut the heat and lifted the lid. And the moment he opens the lid, that smell is so strong that it wakes both of them up. Okay. So white fluffy popcorn came spilling out of the pan, provoking a cry of joy from both Saya and Hikari. Well, homemade popcorn wasn't all that difficult to cook. Well, yeah. So grease, some popping corn, cover, and set it to heat. Well, I'm pretty sure the kernels, that's just regular corn. Well, and they just oil it with butter. So in a microwave popcorn bag, you have one side that's filled with oil, and when you place it, you always place the oil on the bottom, and that's why it says like this side up. So as the microwave is cooking, the corn kernels are sitting on the butter, and once it gets hot, that's when it pops. So what flavor do you want? I held some powder packets. So what are the flavors? Wait, I'm sure caramel comes in liquid, not in powder. So I tore open the caramel packet, sprinkled its contents on the popcorn, and then closed the lid again, and then shook the pan around to mix it in. Well, I don't think that's healthy caramel, because I'm sure caramel is liquid and syrupy. Okay, so I have coffee flavor as well. So water was boiling on another stove. Oh, so he's making coffee as well. Hikari poured a packet of instant coffee and some hot water into a cup. Okay, here you go. So the mornings were cold around the end of autumn. Unlike at night, it felt like it went straight to your bones. Okay, so go ahead and dig in. So I wonder what flavor Hikari got for her popcorn, or maybe she likes it plain. So popcorn and instant coffee probably don't taste as good when you're at home. But on a morning like this, nothing could be more delicious. And the three of us enjoyed our simple breakfast and managed to recover some of the body heat we lost during the night. So is that everything? Okay, so it looks like they're ready to go back down. So I called back to the other two as I shouldered my bag and stepped outside. Hikari said as she stepped out of the train car.
あれはどうするの？
Okay, so what are we going to do about that item? The item that we're supposed to find and give to Orihime and the others to build that telescope. Well, just leave it here. We'll have to use a wheelbarrow or something to move it. Well, there's no way I could carry something like that heavy. But I still couldn't work out how we got it here in the first place.
さあや、早くしなよ。待って、髪が。
Wait a minute. So my hair is all messed up and... So after noticing her hair had gotten messed up, Saya took out a hand mirror and was now fighting a losing battle at trying to get herself back in order. Hikari had been the same, but eventually made do with tying her hair back and waiting until they get home, or she gets home to fix it properly. We waited on the platform for Saya to join us, and the morning sunlight was dazzling.
体中痛い。けど超楽しかった。バカなことして思いっきり笑って、なんか昔に戻ったみたいだったね。
Well, it's kind of like the old times, and it's kind of like going back to the old times.
何、どうしたの？なんで私に見とれてるの？
And once again, the usual Hikari trying to tease Akito. He said as she struck a pose. Well, there's something I want to ask. Do you still like me?
Huh?
So that came out of the blue, and Hikari's obviously shocked. So Hikari froze at the sudden question, an idiotic smile plastered across her face.
え、いや、何のことかな。
You see, wait, do you remember that letter?
手紙？
What letter? The one you gave me after graduation.
あったね、そんなの。
So I wonder if she really does remember, or she tries to play along. So satisfied on that point, she went back to looking confused.
それがどうかした？
And? Well, I know it was a long time ago and things are different now, but I thought I'd just ask how you felt.
あの手紙、どうしたの？
So Hikari seemed a little scared of how I might answer. So it's gonna be quite awkward if you still kept it after all these years. Well, okay, so I haven't read it. Well, come on, who would read a love letter from someone who was about to move away? And that would only make it all more painful. And besides, at that point, I had fallen out with Hikari. After giving it a lot of thought, I had decided not to look at it. I ended up slipping it into an old textbook, so the Beginner's Guide to Astronomy, and stuffed it away in a drawer.
そうなんだ。じゃあ、読まずに捨てちゃったんだね。
So you still have it. There you go. Well, it would be weird to throw it away, but I'll read it when I get home today. Not that it matters now. So Hikari broke out in a cold sweat.
返してもらっていい？
Well, how about I take it back, because it's quite embarrassing now, and I don't want you to see it or learn about it. Wait, no way, I'm gonna see it.
なんでよ
And I wonder how she's gonna try to get it back because she has no idea where Akito stuffed it. Hey, this is what you get for pretending to be an office lady and messing with my emotions.
ダメ返してマジで困るの
But I guess that letter was the skeleton in Hikari's closet, which gave me the upper hand. Well, not happening. So maybe if you delete your messages, I'll think about it.
消す今すぐ消すだから
Well, fine, I'll do it. I'll delete everything. Just for this.
また二人だけで仲良くしてる
And once again, Saya feels left out. Well, at some point, Saya had finished with her hair and was now standing with a sulky foot on her face.
違うのこれはアキトがもういいの
So I like how Hikari's trying to push the blame on Akito, even though she was part of the problem. So Saya turned on her heel and walked away.
ああ待ってさや違うんだって
No. You got the wrong picture. It's actually this. So Hikari panicked as she ran after her. Hey, wait for me. So don't leave me behind. Since we spent the night here and everything, I wanted to linger a little bit longer in our special place and soak in the nostalgic atmosphere. But I put that thought aside and I followed Saya and Hikari. Well, this wouldn't be the last time we come here. Obviously, the three of us together once again. And it no longer felt off limits. And I was already looking forward to the next trip. I took one last look at the old station. So in this fresh morning light, it looked like new life had been breathed into it. Okay, so it looks like we're looking back in the past. So it was around 1 month away after the three of us had first become friends. And the second semester of 5th grade had finished, but we had been stargazing all through the winter vacation. And since we didn't have school in the morning, we were allowed to stay out late and spent our nights outdoors with the telescope. We complained about the cold but stayed out until dawn anyways, and soon became the closest of friends.
コタちゃん、お手おかわりおかわりだよ、コタちゃん
So I wonder if Kotaro the dog has grown up since then. And well, anyways.
それは伏せだよそうじゃなくてお腹見せるのも違うよ
Well, I can't tell if he's really smart or stupid. So Sai and I were playing with Kotaro in front of the Sao Tome candy store as usual. Well, Hikari sure is late. So, I think this shop is not the same one that we see in present times. So I'm sure the mother or the owner of the shop did have to move as well, and she kept the name.
いつもなら一番乗りなのにね。
So the forecast said it was going to be a clear night, so I called Hikari to tell her we were meeting up while it was still light to plan out our evening. So she arrived a few minutes later, plodding along gloomily. Wait, Hikari? What happened?
どうしたの、ヒカリ。元気ないみたい。
So as if she'd been waiting for Saya to ask, Hikari seemed to speak, sounding like she might burst into tears at any moment.
お父さんの会社。
Uh-oh.
なくなっちゃう。
Wait, what do you mean? Hikari began telling us about how the train line was being shut down, along with the company that ran it. That was where her dad worked.
ダムができるせいだ。線路が沈んじゃうから。
Wait, they can't. I stared at our local train station, dumbstruck. It was an old building that had stood there for decades. Even now, people use it every day to get around.
会社がなくなっちゃったらどうなっちゃうの？引っ越さなきゃいけなくなる。
Well, in other words, we will have to move.
うち社宅だし、お父さんどこか別の鉄道会社で働くことになるだろうって。
So apparently, Hikari's dad has to follow where the job is going to go.
そしたら、よその土地へ引っ越さなきゃならなくなるって。そんなことになったら、私たち一緒にいられなくなる。
Well, we got to do something then. Hikari silently and sadly shook her head. Wait, they can't just do that. Well, we all got in so close.
ごめん。
So Hikari turned away and ran from us. She dashed back down the same sidewalk she used to come to us earlier. All we could do was watch as she got further and further away.
光、泣いてた。
Well, Hikari?
やっぱ帰ろっと。
So, Hikari has to accept the fact that she's gonna part ways with Akito and Saya. And it was really hard to say. But Akito tries to catch up to Hikari's like, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if we could try to find a way out of this.
アキト、
I arrived at the bridge to find Hikari waiting there like always. So you're going home already?
うん。
I caught her just as she was about to leave. I came closer and peered into Hikari's face. So her eyes were bloodshot. She'd probably been crying for a while now.
あくん、光。
And just like that, Saya meets up with them as well. As usual, Saya was last to the scene. Hey, I'm Saya. So Hikari was just about to run away.
そうなの。 別に逃げるわけじゃ。だって星なんて見る気になれないよ。
Well, it's gonna hurt looking at stars together, given that this is going to happen soon. So Hikari sounded uncharacteristically grumpy. So what do you want to do, Hikari?
どうって？
Do you want to move away? Or...
やだよ。ここにいたい。アキトとサヤともっともっと星が見たい。
So Saya and I glanced at each other and nodded. So all we have to do is stop them from building the dam. Well, I'm sure as little kids they think that's possible, but obviously it's not. It's probably been planning for many years, and I'm sure they did let everyone know about it. But obviously that's not the same when you think of it as little kids. So that way your dad's train line won't have to close, right?
そりゃそうだけど。
So if the dam were to be built, this whole area would have to be buried under the reservoir's water. And when Hikari first told me that, I didn't know how to feel. Well, to be honest, I wasn't sure how to react since I never really felt attached to this place. But now I know. So the railway that was so dear to Hikari was important to me too. And the view of the fields and mountains on the way to school, the school itself, and the candy store. And they were sights you might find all over the country, but I'd grown to love them. In just a few short months, they become of countless precious memories. Memories of the time we three had spent together. And losing one of our group now will be like losing a huge portion of those memories.
でも、そんなのどうやってやるの？
So can we even do that, though? So I'm going to go ahead and stop here for this episode, and we can start to see how different things and conflicts piece together. So apparently, Hikari and Akito got in a fight at some point, and I'm sure we're going to see that in episode 31. And it led to them tearing apart the notebook, and it's probably why Akito doesn't want to look at stars, because it reminds him of the times with Hikari, and it does remind him of how it ended in a really nasty argument. And surprisingly, despite the argument, Hikari kind of wanted to see stars again, and when she was alone in her new place all bored, it led to her posting images of stars online. And surprisingly, Akito responded. And of course, Hikari's afraid to show herself to Akito and pretend to be Komako. Well, hopefully we'll see more of this child phase and how all this pieces together. And I kind of wonder if Saya still wants to look at stars and what got her to stop. But anyways, with all that in mind, I'll see you in the next episode.